Well, we had quite the day of training today. A lot of horses look good. We had some breaks. The track was a little snowy still. See, we had that freezing rain that ended up being quite an accumulation of hail, and then it got cold, so it sat there on the track. They took some of it off, and then it rained. More ice on the track. Track wasn't bad, but at the same time, it wasn't hard, so it was a little bit deep. And you did see some breakers, and you did see some horses that didn't train as well as they usually do. Case in point was Johan. He made a break in two spots. Two spots he touched himself and made a break. Other horses trained good. Miss Mischief Maker was fantastic. Knockdown Dragout was good again. Ford, you know what? I had a list here. I'll run through them right now. Forged in Fire was fantastic. Here's a horse come out of the woodwork. We all know the horses that are good week in and week out, but it's nice to see those other horses, start to creep up into the top however many list, and Forged in Fire certainly did today. I would say, given his stature, where he was on our top whatever list, probably the biggest mover of the week, I think you can agree, was Forged in Fire. The way he went, the 1.5 miles that he went, given the fact again that he had flip-flops on and a lot of weight and just looked tremendous. Forged in Fire, I think it's easy to say he's the biggest mover of the week. Miss Mischief Maker was good. Time I'll Dazzle, first time I got to go with her. She was acting a little tired, a little lackadaisical, but when push came to shove, that last 3/8 of the 1.5 miles that we went, she was really strong. Miss Brampton Beast was good again, as usual. Globetrotting made a little break, but you can see the only problem we have at Globetrotting. Mechanically, perfect now. Problem she has, she's still terrified of whips and people's helmets. You could see her throw her head and make a little break as we were starting out, and then she caught up, and she was really good after that. Got a little rough down the lane. The issue I had was, there was no issue. The hobbles, okay, so you have the belly band hobbles that are attached to the belly band of the harness. Virtually useless, except for horses that mostly don't need hobbles. The other hobbles that attach back to the race bike, or in our case, the jog cart, the strap's set for a race bike usually, so you have to jerry-rig it a little bit. We use a strap that'll go to it. So I'm running around getting it ready. We have 3 horses that are wearing hobbles. I said, just grab that strap, and it was an elastic strap. So I put it on the bike, snapped the hobbles to it. I said, they look good, and I went out. I had to tighten them up a little bit out there, not to mention that anchor to the race bike, that anchor was now plastic, was now rubber. So it was tugging a little bit. And you could see down the lane, she needed that torque from the hobbles a little bit, and there just wasn't there. It was rubber, and you could see her roll out of gear a couple of times. Didn't run, but rolled out of gear. Finished up pretty good for her, especially considering the trip she had. Her last half was very, very good. She's been awesome. Very impressed with her today. Nancy Allison, another one, could easily be the biggest mover of the week. Trained great. You've seen her making breaks and been out of sorts and out of gear. Fantastic today. Nancy Allison was great. Path of Totality, knuckled over. I might have got set back. I was on the front, she knuckled over, put a weird step in, and I interfered with Danny, and I'm going to watch the video, but I'm pretty sure I interfered with Steve Labonte too. So she was awesome. Finished second, beat a nose, a head, and neck to Nancy Allison. Was very, very good. A horse that I wasn't surprised was fantastic. Olympic Hopeful. Olympic Hopeful was tremendous. Now, I did receive an email, a couple of emails, people saying, oh, what about... Pine Creek was better. Looked great today. What about Cheatin' Dixie? What about Hometown Boys? What was wrong with Hometown's Boys? Nothing. Mario got jammed up, and I think he made a little break. But these are things horses are going to do along the way. You know, the only way sometimes to learn to do it right is to do it wrong sometimes. And Hometown Boys, I believe, made a little break, and then Mario didn't put him in gear, and he was telling me what happened after, and it didn't matter. It's just a training trip. So Hometown Boys, I guess, wasn't as good as, obviously, as we hoped he would today. He's going to go back out and train on Wednesday. Cheatin' Dixie, first training trip back. She was beat quite a ways, but they went 1.45 miles with her. That's her first training trip in like 3.5, 4 weeks. I was very happy to hear that. Master Treaty. I'm rarely gonna mention Master Treaty, but actually trained good today. So that was that set. Olympic Hopeful was tremendous, as I said. Knockdown Dragout was good. Wiggle Delight, very good. James kept asking about the filly after. I said, yes, she's a half-sister to Mr. Wiggles by Better's Delight. We bought her in Lexington. Just a really nice filly. So he was really impressed with her. Emerald Miss, I was very impressed with. Now, a few little changes need to be made. She was a little bit grabby in the mile. You can hear when they hook on the audio to the thing that she was a little grabby, a little ornery. And then when I put her in gear, put a little step in and made a break, probably slipping a bit. A few little equipment changes in Emerald Miss, but you can clearly see how fast this, when I moved her the first time, whoa, she was very, very good. Same as Excellent Nation. He made a little break. Same place a couple of the other horses did. That far turn, a little slick there today, a little icy. And I think they just made a little break. Fusspot, backdoor old ways, fantastic today. Canadian Titan was ultra impressive. You know, again, considering she was, how is she? Has she been good? Does she look good? Fantastic today. Looked really good. Willpower Fashion looked good. Really blue chip. Made a little break. James said she was goofing off in the first turn and made a break. Once he put her in gear, she was really good. Overdue Mission. I'm going to catch a lot of flack from time to time. People saying, I had somebody today saying, hey, can somebody go with my horse that isn't a groom or that isn't named after a dance hall or whatnot? And Disco went with Overdue Mission. Now, Disco usually gets along with this filly. Mark Isabel is Disco. Disco usually gets along with Overdue Mission. I trained her 7 days ago, 8 days ago, and she was, I don't know why it does that. Why are you doing this? I trained her 8 days ago, and she was really, really good. And Disco trained her in the middle of the week. I don't know why this thing's so blurry. There. Disco trained her in the middle of the week, and she was very good again. Beat up on a couple of her horses with it, and looked good. But she struggled in the deep track today, and I know he moved her to the outside. Why, I have no idea. And you could see she was uncomfortable out there. She was trying not to make a break, and he just kept pushing her, and finally she run. And I told him after, listen, if you're going to go with these horses, you got to start paying attention to what you're doing out there. Really nice guy and a hard worker, and trained horses for quite a number of years. But, you know, it's just a one-on-one conversation that it wasn't meant to do anything other than educate him and say, listen, you can't do that. You knew this filly was going to make a break. You could see, I could see, and I wasn't even going with her. And she made a little break. So, you know, for the untrained eye, you might say, well, Overdue Missions make plenty of breaks. Not in the last 2 weeks she hasn't, and she's been going in the right direction. And this was not regression as much as a mistake on the part of the guy going with her. And we could say, yeah, we could go with smaller sets and have more professional people there. We were supposed to have a couple of drivers there today. They couldn't make it. And yeah, we could go with less sets and 19 of them. You know, 19 sets. Can't do that. Not right now. So, Overdue Mission. Chalk it up to a mistake, but Mark won't be going with her next week. Enjoying my life. Tremendous, as usual. Trained really, really good. And in there, effusive. Jason made a break with effusive. I said, just so you look up the scoreboard, I don't think Mark Isabel has made very many breaks with effusive, and you just made one with one of the surest gated horses we have. He said, oh, it was in along the rail, it was deep, and it was a far turn, and I played dumb. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It really was deep, and he was in along the rail. So I'm not that worried about effusive. Now, a horse that really wasn't that surprising that she was great, because she really has been good for a while, was Beach Boutique. Beach Boutique was tremendous today. Very, very good. Bottle of Red, good again. Cabernet, James was really impressed with her. Watch Avenue, you could see he made a break in the far turn and then after the mile. But Watch Avenue has been very, very good. This is a big, huge colt on a half-mile track that was a little icy today. He was great the other day. Good again today. I might have put him in a bad spot. It was the first set, I think, or second set of the day. I might have put him in a bad spot myself and shouldn't have, and he made a little break. So, no concerns there. Now I ran through a list of horses. A lot of horses I liked. Now, you're going to see, I had somebody call me today, and this is the question, and if you're out there and you're a new client or not, the number one question I get all the time is, what's the difference between public shares and private shares? And obviously, we know what the difference is, but newbies, new people to the site do not. There's a problem with me posting them, and I probably shouldn't, but they are posted to TheStable.ca for now anyway. And somebody called and said, I can buy a lot of shares of Anteros cheap. They went up after his training mile. How do I buy them? I helped the person out anyway. The problem, what I was getting at was, this is the time of year where people start panicking for some reason. Oh, Anteros made a break. Oh, this horse. Oh, that horse. And they want to sell their shares. They don't realize what is going on. I know you don't believe me all the time because I'm selling shares. I get that. But I'm trying to help people when it comes to what the horses are doing and not doing. Is Anteros going to be as good as Knockdown Dragout? Probably not. No. Not at this point, not from what I can see. Now, does that mean Anteros can't be a good horse in Ontario? No. Why would it? Does it mean that he won't make the races because he was on the right line today? Absolutely not. Lots of horses were on the line. They get on the line right now. They get touching themselves, get out of gear, make mistakes. These things happen, especially on a track like today. So I can't tell you guys what to do with your money. You do whatever you want. But I would also caution you about jumping off the boat long before it's sunk. And you might say, well, I don't like what I see and I'm going to move my shares. Absolutely. That's 100%, 100% your business, not mine. But I would, again, reiterate that this is February. February. Lots of time left. Lots of training left. And if you think, listen, Lawmaker wore a roller burr in February of his 2-year-old year. Paralyzed on a line most of the way training down. We couldn't find it. We worked on him best we could, and he finally come off the line. But he wore a roller burr his whole life. So if a horse getting on a line is concerning you, I wouldn't be too concerned. White Tiger, another horse, wore a roller burr training down. Lots of horses wear. And this horse hasn't even had a roller burr on Anteros. He had a head pole on for the third time in his life, and people are dumping shares. So you do what you want. But I would caution you that it is February. Take a look at the calendar. So that was the training today. That was my my 2 cents as far as how it went. Now racing, we had a decent week racing. Stonebridge Loyal won, Be My Delight won. I think the biggest update for racing is what's going on is us selling. We have 9 in the sale. We've sold Ready for the Beach. We have 9 other horses in the sale. They will be selling. There will be no protection on those horses, simply because you can't give me a good reason to. Fan the Flames, I guess, kind of proved he couldn't do a non-winners of 2 at Mohawk. Majesty Boy, he's a racehorse, just a horse. Linnea, just a horse. Curious Winner, Curious Winner, I really think I see progression there, but how much? Even if you take last night's line off, even if it was an uncharted mile, he made a break. He got jammed in the first turn, made a break. Finished 5th. Should have been 2nd. Didn't. Squandered some money there. But overall, I think he's the type of horse that will get better. I can't justify asking you guys to pay thousands of dollars in training bills just because I believe he might get better. If I can give you an exit strategy that makes sense, that's feasible, if I can give you a way that we can make money and turn a profit with him, great. I can't do that. I can't do that. So Curious Winner, another horse on the chopping block that had to go. So we have 9 of them in the sale on Monday. As far as the horses left racing, yeah, we got some more that probably can leave. Probably 3 or 4 or 5 more, but they're safe for now. And we're going to try and turn them into race horses and turn them into productive horses. The horses we're racing are coming. Our Road Tripper was great the other night. I talk about him all the time. Should have won. 4th, beat a length, 56-2, raced good. Sunshine Inn, I told you guys, probably one of the biggest turnarounds from last year. You could tell she had speed, but was she a good horse? I don't know. We turned her out to find out. She is. Another foot, she's a winner. Another foot of racetrack, she's a winner. Raced great the other night. And again, last night we had Happy Holidays. I talked to our clients after. She fits the numbers of 3,500. After that, we're probably going to have to find some claiming ranks for her. Happy Holidays is a nice mare, but she's not the Happy Holidays of 2017 that won a bunch of races, took a mark of 154 at Flamborough Downs, setting a track record. She's not the same Happy Holidays as that year. We all age. We all get older. So she raced good, as good as she could last night. Holding steady, got used up pretty hard. I really was trying to get Brett in the 2-hole with that horse that he had, and He wouldn't go in. We ended up to the quarter in 27-4. I had to cut him loose, and he walked. I had to move again at the 5/8. Got around him, got picked off. Didn't get picked off for second. Got beat fair and square for second and third. Ended up fourth. Holding Steady's an okay horse. Had the sale deadline for the Ohio sale been today, he'd been in it. But it's not. So we're going to race him for a little while and sell him. Good looking horse, brother of Rock and Ron. No money made. He can go a little. You know, maybe we'll even take him to Woodbine and race him a couple of weeks, or Mohawk and race him a couple of weeks in that 15 for hours or 30. Those are a sorry looking bunch of horses last night at Mohawk also. What else? I had told our clients I'd send a message out to you guys saying we were going to buy 2 horses, maybe in the Ohio sale. I looked through the whole Ohio sale. There wasn't a lot that really interested me. You know, not a lot at all. So I had reached out to Mark Weaver with Weaver Buscemi and Ron Burke, where we got Gelona, who wasn't a great asset, but at the same time was kind of in between classes. Couldn't quite do what we needed to do. Was more than happy to do a class a little bit low. Didn't work out the greatest, but not bad. And then you look at Lincoln James. I think he's been a good horse for us, and he's going to continue to be a good horse. So I'd ask Mark if he's got 1 million horses. You know, do you have a couple of horses to sell us? We have some owners interested. Might work out better this way anyway, because it'll give me time to find out exactly who wants in and at what rate you'd like in, because I'll have an idea of what the horse is, what the price is, and it'll give me a time frame to put that money together. So this might be a better option anyway. We're looking for 1 or 2 horses that are going to be able to race at Mohawk horses, and I believe maybe Mark Weaver can help us out. So if he can, that's great. That would be good. So if you're out there saying, hey, maybe I want a racehorse, let me know, because once we fill them up, they're filled up. If I have enough people interested to buy a couple, I will. If I have enough people to buy 1, I will. I think we're well on our way to having enough people to buy 1 right now, if not more than enough. And when they're sold, they're sold. So drop me a line and let me know if you're interested in buying a racehorse. We are buying 1, maybe 2. Also, the news of the brood mares. We have decided we are going to breed. I've said this a number of times now. Stop that phone. We are going to breed Stolen Dance and Dewey Ann. They've gone to the breeding farm. As you can imagine, there's a number of our clients that don't want to be broodmare owners. That's fine. I didn't really think I was one either, but I'm the vast majority owner of both these horses now, and I have every intention of breeding them. So if you want to become partners, what I told somebody the other day, we did have some people come out of the blue and said, hey, I would like to do this. I would like to be be an owner of broodmare. Then when the foal's born, we have a foal. And if you breed it to Sebastian K like you said you're going to do, I like Sebastian K. So we're going to have a broodmare, a well-bred broodmare, and a foal within a year, and I priced the mares accordingly. I took all my public shares, I dumped them on the site at $85 a share for Stolen Dance and Dewey Ann. If you're interested in owning a broodmare, great. If you're not, I don't blame you. But there are shares available. I don't know if I can handle or would feel comfortable handling a half ownership of both, but if I have to, I will. I'll find a way. But I am going to breed those 2 mares, and I think I am going to breed them to Sebastian K, as I like them. Go look at the 2 that trained today. Yeah, Johan made a break. That's not going to happen very often, and I could see what went on with Johan. Track was a little slippery. He did touch his ankle and make a break. Not a big deal at all. We can fix that pretty easy. He's a pretty sure-footed horse. And then the other one, Sebastian Ray trained good today, but Knockdown Dragout was very, very good again. So that's some other stuff that's coming up. We get the broodmares, we get the horses that we're going to buy, we get the training, the racing, the sale, the staking. Lord above. We had a lot of people message me about the staking, what they wanted to do, what they'd like to see, what they thought was good, and I appreciate the input. A lot of it was very, very helpful. All of it was very, very helpful. What we're going to end up doing, I don't know yet. I'm pretty sure I shouldn't say I don't know, I do know. We've sent out our final drafts and our final copies to the staking service. We're going to end up spending about $90,000 in the first month. February, March is going to be scary. About $90,000. I think we staked the horses appropriately. We missed a lot of conflicts that would have been costly financially to us, and we put some horses in some right places, I believe. You know, when I look at what we're training and how we're training, obviously people are watching what we're doing. I see Johan was in the harness racing update as the pitcher for Sebastian K. His breeding ad in harness racing update featured a big picture of Johan training. So I mean, we're always in the spotlight, so to speak, just because of what we do, and people obviously watching our horses train. But I think we got a lot of talented horses. And last year we were very aggressive with our staking, and we learned some lessons along the way. I took those lessons, applied them to this year's staking, and I think I'm pretty close to bang on when it comes to the staking for February. So that's all done, all said and done now. And I appreciate all the outpouring of people getting their money in. You don't know how much that means, because obviously, one, I have to pay all those shares that you see on the site that are not spoken for. I have to pay those staking payments. And for all the ones that are spoken for, until your money comes in, I have to find a way to front that too. So it can be a little taxing, a little stressful, but the outpouring of support and help has been tremendous. People getting their money in on PayPal and e-transfers, and people saying, hey, Anthony, I sent a check from wherever, and I'm sure those checks will get here quick, and I very much appreciate that. I have no idea why this phone keeps doing this. I very much appreciate that. So thank you very, very much, everybody. Anyway, I'll be off to Australia on the 18th. I haven't made a decision whether we're going to drone next Saturday or not. One, I want to look at the weather. Two, I want to see how the horses feel today, and get a real good feeling for what they look like. So if not, it'll be either when I'm gone away, if you want, or as soon as I get back, one or the other. But the horses will definitely be training every Wednesday and Saturday, regardless if I'm here or not, or if we drone or not. So we quite a crowd today. Probably had 12, 15 people out there, and it was cold. It was cold as a bugger today. So hope everybody had fun watching the training today. I know it's annoying. I know it wasn't perfect. I know some horses made breaks. I know maybe some of your horses didn't look as great as you thought. Keep in mind, it's February. Lots of time. There was lots of times when White Tiger made a break last year. Lots of times when Oso Pine made a break last year. Twinsburg looked terrible. See You in Tuscany looked terrible at this time of the year last year. Relax. Everything will be just fine. I can't tell you they're all going to be good horses. I can't tell you nobody's going to get hurt or injured. I can't tell you that horses are just going to fall off, because they will. These are athletes. We're trying to build a team, and there's going to be cuts along the way. There's going to be horses end up on the fourth line instead of the first line. You know what I'm talking about. So it is February. Just take your time. So that's today. I'll be right back in a minute. We're going to get into the barns. We're going to get into Jason's barn. We're going to get into Harry's barn, Kevin's barn. A lot going on there, especially with the sales and racing. We're going to go through all the babies, not just the ones I talked about, all of them. Let you know what's going on with them and how they were today, what I thought of them, and if I saw improvement or regression. Didn't see much regression from anybody. Did see a lot of improvement, so that's good. And we will be right back in a minute. I'm going to get to the barns, going to get to everything that went on in them, and all the yearlings that went today. So I'll be back in just a minute with the rest of your videos.